load up these bamboos. First shot 179.9, 175.2. Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we will be reviewing and upgrading the X-Shot Longshot. So first off, really quick, we're going to do a review, and overall it is a really solid blaster for the price point. So we're going to go right into it and just shoot a few rounds through, and I'm going to show you a few problems that I have with it, and then we're going to fix them. So 2 rounds loaded in. One problem that I did notice, but it may just be a fluke, is that the mags seem to not click in properly. So we're going to probably strengthen up the spring on the mag release a little bit. And there's one other thing that's not necessarily a problem, but I saw somebody else do it as more of a cosmetic thing, is they took this mag adapter and they cut it to match the angle of this. So that way you don't have this big ugly thing sticking out, and it just looks like you have this sliding into there. So I will be doing that, and I will also be removing the mag release right here because we don't need it, because there is a mag release on the front of the blaster. If you look right here where my thumb is, there's one on this side. See, I'm not touching this at all. There's one right there. There's also one on this side that moves when I pull the other side, so it's ambidextrous. That is a nice feature. So that is why you can completely remove this and not have one of the mags as a friction fit. So anyways, let's move this forward and test it. So one other thing I had a problem with is the safety. It works just fine. See, right now it's unlocked and now it's locked. My problem with it is if I have it unlocked and I'm going along and shooting, every once in a while it will become locked. It's so loose in there. There's no spring or anything, so I'm just going to take that out completely. And of course there is the problem of many people breaking the plunger tube, so I probably will be replacing that with aluminum as well. So I completely forgot. So obviously these are really loose, but that's besides the point. The problem I was going to explain, I guess that just falls off. That's not even what I was going to talk about, but I didn't even know this door was here until I accidentally pulled it down. So there's a little door here, and my problem is I was speed priming, and you can see the sled go back. I can't recreate it at the moment, but if you just try to shoot as fast as you can, this sled will become lodged off to the side, and it'll actually hit the side of the short dart mag right here. So at this point I've been working on this blaster for, I'd say, well over 2 hours, but I did it kind of the hard way. So let me open it up and show you what I did. So on the front here we have a K25 spring. This is the original spring, and I made it just slightly longer. I've heard of people using either 7 or 8 inches, and I've heard that adds a lot of power to it. But for this build, I decided to keep it mostly stock length, just because I've heard that pre-tension on the spring tends to wear it out over time. So let's pull this barrel out, and this is the stock barrel. And then we can get to the spring, pull that out, and that will allow us to pull the plunger head out. So it's kind of hard to tell, but I've sanded quite a bit down off from this lip and this lip. And the reason for that is the tube that I use has a smaller inner diameter as well as a smaller outer diameter. Now I would not recommend doing this because it was a lot of work, and they do actually sell the correct part. The reason I did it this way is because I bought the tube and I was kind of excited for it to work, and it didn't, so I decided to just make it work. So the way that I modified the back end of this to work is originally the plunger tube slid over this entire thing up to here, and there is a ring right here, a ring right here, and there was a O-ring in the middle. And what I did was I sanded down this ring, took the O-ring out, and then got all the grease off and everything, and used 2-part epoxy and glued it all together. The reason for that is I really didn't feel like sanding down this outer ring, and all I had to do to make it work was to make this tube the distance of that much shorter, and that allowed it to sit right in here just how the original one did. And with the O-ring on this as well, I actually had to get an assortment of O-rings similar to this, but you know, obviously bigger ones. So what I did with the O-ring, this is actually a duplicate, is I put it on here, and then I took some snips just like this, and I cut around the entire outside of the O-ring until it was almost flush with this. And then I took a sanding block and sanded it down, and then I flipped the O-ring inside out. So that way you can tell this side is kind of jagged. Once I flipped it inside out, it has a smooth surface to slide on, and it will create a better seal. So in the back half of the blaster, you can see that the mag adapter has been cut. Now this was not originally my idea. I saw someone else do it on a YouTube video, but I liked it, so I decided to do the same. And essentially, I just cut off the mag adapter slightly inside of the body of the shell. And eventually, I'm going to be making a cap to go over here and here to make it look a little bit better. And I did cut the short dart mag release as well. Reason for that is because there's a mag release right here. I don't really see the need for two. And if there's one right by the handle, might as well use that one. I also cut this mostly because it's just an extra part sticking out, and I didn't really care to remove the mag adapter at all because I'm only going to be using short darts. I don't think I'll ever use long darts in this blaster. Now my only problem with doing this is when you put the short dart mag in, it locks into place as it should. And I'm going to show this again when the blaster is fully together, but if you slightly push forward on the mag, it actually releases. If I was to pull straight down, I wouldn't do that, but any slight movement forward and the mag will just fall right out. So that is a kind of a side effect of cutting the mag adapter. Maybe a reason why you shouldn't on your own personal blaster, but I like the look, so I don't regret doing it. And I'm probably just going to add some padding to the front, like 2mm EVA foam, to prevent it from doing that. And if you're not aware of what EVA foam is, I have some right here. It's just like some 2mm foam you can buy at a craft store or online. So that is pretty much all I did on the inside of this blaster. So let me put it back together and I'll give you some chronograph readings. Alright, so I got the blaster all back together. Just take the mag adapter and slide it in. And this blaster does come with a scar as well. It's like a 4-line scar. So we can slide that on as well. Cheap airsoft chronograph. And then for this test, we're going to be using regular charcoal darts. And I'm going to shoot 4 of them just to give you an idea of what the blaster is hitting at. Let's load up the mag that is included with the blaster. So that was 158. $161.7. That is a invalid reading. It says 546. I doubt we're shooting that high. Last dart, 158.5. So these are the bamboo darts I was referring to. I believe they came with the Dart Zone Mark III. And you can see they have 2 ridges, one on the front and one on the back, and that reduces the overall friction of the dart as it's traveling through the barrel. And what I was talking about earlier with the mag, you can see it's fully in here. It's not coming out. But if I push it forwards, it'll slide right out. If I try to pull straight down, it won't. As soon as it goes forwards, it'll pull out. Load up these bamboos. First shot, 179.9. Like I said, the bamboos get me about 180, and the charcoals get me about 150. Invalid reading. 175.2. 168.1. That was a little bit lower. So overall, really solid blaster for about $30 and then about $20 in modifications. 180 FPS isn't bad. With the Nexus Pro, I actually spent about $200 on it, and it has similar results. I think that one's hitting about 200 FPS, but with a barrel swap in here, this blaster is still under $100, and I've heard I can hit up to 280 FPS. Now that might be with 8 inches of K25 and then the 13mm barrel. That's probably what it's going to take to get up to that number, but either way, I'll probably approach that in a different video. Thank you guys for watching. Have a nice rest of your day, and don't forget to like and subscribe. See you guys in the next video.